Leo pulled out a cat, and everything.
Hello.
I was gonna say to this as a professional.
I mean, my takeaway is that Black
Canisters. There's still 30 seconds left. Swagger's taking a lot of damage and is about to try and utilize his first smoke canister. They actually changed off it, and there's the throw and the blow. And at this point, he's got enough to cover the default position. So instead, Mackin has got to do this, drive his way on through, gets on towards one, puts some pressure onto the next. They're holding on. They've got themselves encircled around the side of the site and over the top, but Rare puts the heavy into the machinery and puts the bullets into Mackin. Stops the only man with kills on the other side. So now at this point, they've got to see if they can try and keep on pressing. It's just one left. Mr. Outlaw with 5 seconds. If he can play this well, he can play it perfect. And perfect is a painting put together on this book. There it is. And in motion, but there needs to be a little bit of motion behind it. The bolts go out. The smoke comes out as the instant response here. But otherwise, there's not really been an immediate way of picking them up until a drift around the side actually gets the split. It's pressure inside the coat room. Double down. It looked like it was a kill on Wedding, but otherwise, it's a murder in the coat room. Can't get 4. Though knocked out a minute 10. They're inside the site. It's a 1 versus 4. And Miracle, he's hoping for one right now because otherwise they're easy in. They know exactly where he is. They can just get this kit planted at this point. This is going to be pretty close to impossible as a retake, Jesse.
Yeah, surely no hope for Miracle. He's going to try to crawl in through Freezer, but he sees ahead just there. And
awareness and good replacement, but everybody is still standing somehow amongst all of the chaos. Every single bullet has been absolutely whiffed, and a 10-player post plant becomes 9 with 40 seconds, and it's 4 and 4 even. But they have the verticality, and you're kind of wondering, Black Dragons, what were you waiting for? Because at this point, it's almost a buffet for them to pop up. It's 3 apiece. He's ready with the secondary shotgun. Shows how scrappy and close it is. But the longer this ticks, the more dangerous it gets here for the defenders at this point. They can't really get towards the place of the plant in time. Sprayed up through the top. It's a 1 versus 3.
Experience coming through from the Sexy Cake. Dodges both nitro cells, being annoying to play into. And you're absolutely right. Playing it here in round 4, meaning that there's no bans that can come up to counter this, could give them the opportunity they're looking for, especially with Outlaw downstairs. He's been stopped for now, but he could flank up Red.
Well, he tries to make his way up, but it's the 4 versus 2. Fine, they found one, but otherwise everything has been found against them. Oh, and there's another drop. Here they're already off to the races. They're trying to drive themselves all the way through. They haven't found a single kill, so they're going to plant deep. Sexy Cake gets the LMG cover onto one. There's Rare getting the swing background, but they can get this locked in because they didn't. The Ying covering the Christmas doorway as well. They've got Lender sort of watching and waiting, but look at the rotate over the top. They know the fight is going to have to be outside, and what a blinding shot onto 1 and 2. Swag lives up to his namesake, and now they're the ones in the power position. Slips their way on through. Oh, it was a good start to a plan, but unfortunately the pressure of just swinging back in. It's a lot of active from the guns of the side of Black Dragons rather than passive abilities, and they want to try and match them to the meter, but with 20 seconds and 1 less body, they've got to start trying to put the pedal to the metal here. It's going to be a drop on towards the back of the kitchen. They're making their way in from the side of Freezer. They've got the shield here, and they're just going to keep on driving. But there's one of those C4s as the cross comes out over the other side. They've lost the body on towards the cocktail side, and he recollects the kit. Doesn't hold it for very long as we find ourselves hurt.
Great words, Emmy. I mean, Leo's absolutely correct. They struggled with versus Team Liquid Alienware. They played 7 attacks total through 15 rounds, and of course, their positions. Nice kill with the Blackbeard. Maybe sees, I believe it's Sexy Cake just in there, but didn't find the frag. 40 seconds. There's a guy tucked in the corner too, so this is not easy.
Really well made table there, but unfortunately not well made enough. Served up and sent home, but Machina just swings right. You said the player was in the corner. Luckily, they didn't hear you. I think the defenders think there as they're able to lock it out, keep the advantage. They lose the shield, they lose that front line, and now they've got to still swing on towards this position. But look at Florio. He's up on the far side, holding on towards the swing. It's on the window itself. A 3 versus 3, 10 seconds, and a kit that they've got to recollect and try and send it, but they know they're going to enter a shooting gallery, so what do? They have to try and just take the fight. They can't quite win it out. Hell of a pistol at a...
And this does look like where the push is going to come from, so he'll be the first point of contact if that's where Rare wants to bring the diffuser.
At this point, holding that over the laundry hatch. It's Florio that gets Lender, though, and is able to get that cold and covered. There's a swing background row. Rare locks it in, finds revenge, and finds themselves a little bit control of 90. They're watching for the flank. Good eyes and ideas, so maybe they didn't just want the gadgetry as well. They wanted the heat. And in a 4 versus 3 versus 1, well,
Outlaw outside of there, and you're right. I mean, Yex's position is an absolute nightmare. He can't be, never mind, Yex's position is not good enough, so Mr. Outlaw takes him out.
Toe for toe. Now the Flores is going to try and charge alongside. And you can see that the player just tucked in is going to be forced to, well, at least go to a different corner right into the firefighter. Swag. Good pinch from Utility. They've fallen back in towards the site itself in the 4 versus 3, but has all the attention been enough? There's the roll of the laser lights and the wall itself as Machina gets rid of the ace, and they've just retaken on towards Bakery.
A weird push so far. I mean, they got dimensions from both sides. The front door restaurant might be going a little bit better for them, especially with Lendo winning that fight. That opens the door for them to push in through Whiskey and get to the bomb site.
A 3 versus 1 final push. At this point, they're pretty aware of where the plant is going to go, so they pop all the fire and they'll get it as close to the line as possible, but a team kill! Oh no, that's not how that's supposed to go. A 2 versus 2. Wanted to make things a little bit riskier, but you still have to try and lock this one out, and Sexy Cake swings on...
Aware of where that execute was going to come from, and Imperial were so ready to now and could start to use this gadget in such a way. With the Lion Charge coming out too, they've got loads of information.
Everything and the kitchen sink gets thrown at the top floor, and they're able to take 3 bodies out of it. Very, very well put together there on the approach. Now, Miracle does get caught out, fleeing around from Machina. Levels it out, but with 2 minutes, you know, Imperial Esports, they're keeping themselves within touching distance of the site itself, and good idea on the fight, but Machina now hits the deck, and it leaves just the experience of Sexy Cake on towards the window fight first, but the trade was...
That was a big problem for them when they went for this push last time around. They do have Selmas to try to open it up, but otherwise, that'll be their only util.
Well, there's 1, there's 2, and they're starting to all fall. They went for something a little bit more traditional, but at this point, with everybody still standing, well, there's nowhere else they could really find themselves otherwise sat out of the round itself. They still have the C4s, and well, maybe they don't even need them. Sexy Cake proposes himself violently outside the Christmas door and just tears the head at the hop. Mr. Outlaw's going to see if he can buy himself a swing round. Gets it, gets 1. Hopes to try and catch a second, but at this point, dead. With the kit on the other side and with nobody offering themselves as a fight, they're just spraying and hoping. Seems pretty locked in here for the side of Imperial, doing enough to cause problems outside of Sexy Cake, who's doing every problem by not moving.
Hasn't gotten a kill yet, but is okay with that. Rare opening himself up for a plant spot. They still have to be worried about the echo cams. There's one in Bakery, as we just see there.
There's the echo trying to force it off, and a swing round the top. Sexy Cake hiding in the Bakery, serving up pain, and not the French version. There's the swing round for a bit of revenge, but it's crossed and covered. Machina from deep. Sexy Cake does go down. It's technically a 3 versus 2, and he's not really in a gettable position, but he's a living drone for a split second. And there's only 30 of those left in the round. Oh, get yourself in towards the site. The pressure's coming in. They're using the Flores drone to try and get the death of the player itself. Too little, too late. They're just going to have to try and run in, hope and hold on towards this position. Is there another echo drone? There might be. There's still some of the stuns coming out. This is really the only place this lineup can operate right now, right? With the Kai Thor on the other side, they have to get rid of this player on the side of Cocktail. They have to try and put the pressure in, but he's more than ready to take the fight, and the C4 has the cover, and it just feels like a bit of a missed play here. Machina drives through, gets a kill, but how many times do we say that? And how many times can it be the saving grace? Is Rare gets another inside. He's looking to try and get a split of a take, but just wrong tool for the job. It really sort of feels like here. A 4 versus 1, 3 versus 1, 2 versus 1. Okay.
Surely not.
15 seconds gone. He's still on cams and doesn't have a call. He's just, everything is unfortunately well known. They would have to hand him the round. And
the Goyo Castle something to deal with as well that they haven't dealt with before on BD, but they're in for the top floor.
Well, they're in and they're out, actually. Immediately locked out there by Yex. There's a bit of damage that gets caught on towards Sexy Cake. Locked out by Swag. And a 4.
You watch out for Machina. I mean, you brought him up. Currently playing just at the bottom of Brown Stairs. It should be air jabbed off, but something to worry about. And this one, too. Mid-tricks up above. No air jab. But he gets slammed on the angle.
Machina gets that revenge, as you said. Pops up at the perfect time and puts a bit of danger in. But now they'll know that he's in this position, and that means that they know that there might only be 2 on towards the site. So try and send the plant itself, keep the cover, and Miracle might be able to lock this one in. You can see the fight happens as Lender stacks him up for 2. Yex gets the trade out, but gets dropped. Now it's the 1 versus 1. Swag on towards Yex, who hasn't had the biggest time on this second half, as 30 seconds to keep them fighting in towards the chance of a win here. Either side of the pillar, he knows roughly where the player is, but
Jesse in the world that can help out with that. And that's, of course, our scoreboard to end this first matchup of the day that goes to overtime. Yes, Imperial lose, but they get 1 point off of Black Dragons that we discussed in the beginning. If you remember, my dear friend Leo, that we're talking about the groups and how they're being split up. And within the groups, in Group A specifically,